nerdy friends. Nice to be back with you. If you're new to the channel, hit like, hit subscribe, do that thing. It really helps out. If you are returning and you saw the previous episode we posted, I wasn't feeling super well. Turned out I did get the coves. So sorry, there were a couple weeks without videos, but I am on the other side. So here I am back to give you that comic book goodness. This is gonna be a quick one today. Want to talk to you about Free Comic Book Day. This Saturday, May 7th, is Free Comic Book Day. If you're not familiar with Free Comic Book Day, it is exactly what it sounds like. It's kind of this great thing. All over the country, local comic shops participate and give out free comics. They're usually either some previews of new titles from publishers, some smaller publishers that maybe had a critically acclaimed thing, but they want to give it more exposure. So they'll give some preview pages. Certain publishers will give a few pages from multiple titles. But it's just a great way to learn about titles you might not otherwise pick up, to get some early, if you're a speculator, some early spec knowledge, which I'm going to hit a couple of those books coming up here. And if you've got kids, it's an awesome day because there's always a number of kids books. I'm going to talk about one in particular, but there's a bunch of them you can get. So what you can do, I'm going to hit my top 5 must-have and a couple of bonus ones. But if you go to freecomicbookday.com, they'll show you all the different comics that are coming out, summaries of them, etc. One note, even though it is free, it is a use of resource. It does cost resources to the local comic shops. I mean, they're giving these away hoping to get future additional customers. So you might see certain shops limit 5 titles per customer or 2 of each title or whatever it is. Please, respect that. They're not trying to screw you over. They're trying to give you free stuff and also watch their margins and also make sure that other people get access to it. So there you go. So this is Free Comic Book Day. My top 5 must-gets for this comic book day. Last year was a big Free Comic Book Day release, and a number of books spiked post-market. The Venom Spiderman book, there was the Something's Killing the Children, and then the Stray Dogs book got really hot, and I think still sells for a good bit, which is kind of amazing when you think of it starting as free. But so I'm going to give you my top 5 and a couple of bonus for you. The other thing, I'm posting up later this week, maybe the next few days, a full season breakdown of Severance, the Apple TV show that I think is the best show of the year so far, bar none. So go watch Severance if you haven't. Don't watch the show because is not spoiler free. And then we'll have Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness content coming, and Moon Knight season wrapping up. So a lot coming down the pipe. So without further ado, so Free Comic Book Day number 1. This is in no particular order, just giving you my books. Amazing Spider-Man, Venom. It was one of the hot books last year. They do a nice job with it. 2 very popular characters, obviously, but the main reason I'm saying grab this one is Spider-Man's new creative team. You've got John Romita Jr. coming back after many years, and his art style can be a little polarizing, but he certainly is a sort of legendary Spider-Man artist. Zeb Wells is writing it. They've just launched a big new arc. Issue 1 just came out. It's a great issue, and highly recommend you jumping on that series. But this is going to give you some groundwork for their big story arc. If you're, Kingpin has left New York, and there's a vacuum on the street level for all the different gangs, and Tombstone is making his move to sort of consolidate power. I love Tombstone, one of my all-time underrated Spidey villains, so definitely worth checking out. And also there's a Venom story as well, and that recently had a new creative team after the Cates run, and actually it's Al Ewing who did Immortal Hulk, Ram V. It's a great creative team, so there you go. Full disclosure, I was never a huge Walking Dead fan, but I'm certainly aware of the phenomenon. And this is Clementine, issue 1, sort of the next chapter in the Walking Dead series, a very popular character, getting this, for solo title, cover You've also got, I don't know this background story here, but if you look at the cover, first look at Machine Boy. So maybe that's a new character being introduced. Maybe that becomes a series that becomes popular. But for you Walking Dead fans, here's a great opportunity to get some free Walking Dead content with a new story arc and a centered protagonist that's popular. From DC, Dark Crisis. So apparently this picks up right after or is in the wake of DC's big Death of Justice League event. Joshua Williamson is writing, and so I think it has like a 7-page preview of Dark Crisis #1. So that's going to be one of the big DC events, and certainly a book you're going to want to grab, not necessarily for spec reasons, but as a jumping on point for a large story arc. So this is, if I was going to put one book on the list from a spec perspective, I would put this one on here. It is the Judgment Day Zero. So the Marvel's next big crossover event, Eternals, X-Men, Avengers, going at it, which Marvel loves to do periodically. Sometimes those really work, sometimes they don't, but this is the kickoff, and it's likely to have some new characters to sink your teeth into and new plots. And if you're a speculator, I highly recommend you get it. Probably will be a hot one, so try to grab at that first. And then I do not have an image of it. I don't know. I thought I put one up there, but there's my fifth book on my must grab list is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book. If you don't know, if you haven't been reading TMNT, it's probably a very different series than you expect, and actually more like it was way back in the day from my youth. But it's really got a very kind of rich cast of characters now and a lot of story going on, and they're going to be starting a whole new arc. The cover has a really kind of modernized homage cover to the original TMNT one that's so beloved by Eastman, and it just looks really good. You can check it out on the website. Sorry, I don't have that picture here, but I would grab that, and there's going to be new villains introduced for sure, and I think new characters as well. So first appearances, homage cover, new story arc, and just a great run that's been going on. I highly recommend picking that one up. 2 bonus books real quick. For the parents out there, as I'm one of, I've got 9-year-old twins. We love Free Comic Book Day. It's a great chance. You get to give your kids free stuff, fun. They get to read, they get ownership, picking titles. It's really wonderful. And there are a ton of all ages and kid specific books out there. So this is just one I'm going to recommend, but like there is that TMNT book, which is really more all ages. There is Captain Underpants is really popular. There's that. There's one of he's got a book coming out, but I'm gonna go and recommend Avatar: The Last Airbender. You're going from Dark Horse, which is local here in Milwaukee, Oregon, not greater Portland area, where you've got a new Avatar: The Last Airbender story and a new Legend of Korra story. Both obviously have big fan bases, and at least my kids love. So that's one there for you. And then finally, this isn't because of spec, it isn't collecting. I think sounds like a really interesting story. And this is my indie pick. A lot of times we use indie comics to just mean not Marvel and DC, but you actually do have a small publisher here, and I'm going to just pull up that info here. If you'll bear with me, I want to get it right. So this is from the name is It Won't Always Be Like This. It is, I'm going to read the description from the Free Comic Book website. An intimate graphic memoir about an American girl growing up with her father's new Egyptian family, forging unexpected bonds and navigating adolescence in an unfamiliar country, from the award-winning author of I Was Their American Dream. So it's a preview piece, and it's 10 Speed Press is the publisher, so that's a legit indie press publisher. I just think it sounds like a really interesting story. an acclaimed author. And frankly, we need more comic content like this. Right now, there's a ton of all ages stuff. There's a ton of superhero stuff. There's plenty of indie stuff that's like edgy adult stuff. There's not a lot of like really great kind of personal narrative storytelling. So here's a graphic memoir. I would definitely check that one out. I know I am. So there you have it. I've got my 5 top grabs. There's dozens of books. Check them all out. See which one's right for you. Freecomicbookday.com. A kids bonus one, and then just I think an indie reader pick. If you like content like this, if you got any value of this, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe, drop a comment. I love getting back to folks. And thanks so much. See you guys next time.